Hello, my name is Dr. Pinky Feinstein and I am glad to open this program that focuses on a topic that I am, as a therapist, as a psychiatrist, as a doctor, as a teacher, as a leader, realized many years ago that it is very, very important, very crucial for any versions of emotional stability, for any version of spiritual growth, creative fulfillment, almost everything we want to achieve, everything we desire to get, to accomplish, to create, to build, is always dependent on the level of the influence of our inner critic. I created many methods to facilitate people in reducing the influence of their inner critic. And before this, to realize, to acknowledge how this part in their personality affects them and limits their ability to grow, to expand, to create relationships, to feel good with themselves, you name it. So, this is an 18 chapters program, like many other programs that for me as a psychiatrist are tools that in many ways replace or come before medical drugs. Because I believe that inside us we have brilliant, authentic, mental medications that we can utilize, we can activate, and then to feel better, and then to be better, and to reach a state in which we can be happier, more satisfied, more able to know what are the good things for us, for our well-being. And in many times it is these innate, natural medications that once we activate them, we find out that we can be much more creative, flexible, and spontaneous in dealing with life challenges. So this is the program, How to Reduce Your Inner Critic Exaggerated Influence. Chapter 1. First of all, we have to create a large, big, expanded awareness to the way our inner critic influences us and to the fact that we need to change this inner balance. Like in many other places, whenever we don't have the proper awareness, we don't know what we're really dealing with, there's no way we're going to do something about it. Now, because exaggerated inner criticism is so popular and so normal, to the place in which people make jokes about how they are not good at stuff, how they are failures, how they cannot draw, cannot write, cannot act. They say they are too clumsy. They say that they are not clever enough, not creative enough. These are all faces of exaggerated inner critic that creates fear and misinformation and misunderstanding and keeps people in tight boundaries that do not let them find their freedom, find their creativity, find their authentic joy, authentic path of expression, of work, of creation, of love. We have inside us, and we cultivate it inside us and in other people's mind. We cultivate exaggerated inner critic. Now you do notice that I speak English, which is not 100% perfect. I need to face my inner critic that is telling me that it's not okay to record important messages in English while my English is not perfect. If I obey to this inner critic judgment, I will stop myself from making a very important service for you and for me. This is one of many of the mechanisms of the inner critic saying, you must be perfect. You must be great. You must be brilliant. You must be at the top. You must be number one. You must have the best grades. You must. There are many other faces, mechanisms of the inner critic that we will review here. But for now, for this chapter 1, lesson 1, and by the way, I'm telling you, I am going to make some mistakes in English. Most of them I will recognize while doing so, and some of them I will not. But there is no doubt in my mind that you understand me. That's good enough for me. I'm saying this because I believe it's important to notify you that I also am coping with my inner critic, but still I'm doing this work. This is the way I deal with my inner critic. I do the thing that I desire to do, even if I'm not sure they're perfect. Are you ready to do stuff that you have passion for, even if you're not totally ready? Are you ready to acknowledge this part in your personality? That from the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep is continuously working in trying to limit you, in trying to stopping you from being creative, from being unique, from being different, from being emotional, from being crazy, from being. And he's trying to force you to be like society is expecting you to be. And he's trying to make you internalize all these so-called norms that make you okay person through the eyes of other people, thereby forcing you to hide your authentic voice, your authentic opinion, your authentic passion, your authentic service to the world. These are all results of exaggerated inner critic, which I must say, and this is the reason for me to meet you here, this is something we can handle, we can reduce, we can change. It is our duty. But if we do not acknowledge that this part in our personality exists and is exaggerated, and if we don't acknowledge that we can do something about it, it stays the same. And we surrender to it, and we deny it, and we even get into some kind of cognitive dissonance in which we'll say, well, it's good to have so much inner criticism. It protects me, yes. It shows me the right way to be, the proper way to do stuff. So, if you're here And if you feel that these words connect to you, it means that you realize, or you have realized so far, that this inner critic is exaggerated, is a kind of inner tyranny that limits your well-being, your ability to flourish, to thrive, to expand, to have much happier and easier life. And if you have some kind of hope to change this, stay here. I will show you some avenues that I have explored through the last 20 years to reduce the inner critic influence. This is the basic of all my work as a psychiatrist and as a therapist. And I've seen many good results with this, with my clients or with myself. So this is your invitation to join me if you're interested in reducing the influence of your inner critic.